All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the conservation meeting of November 15th, 2017, at 5:32 p.m. We're going to jump around a little bit tonight. We're going to jump into informal. We have Mr. Gene Romero with us.
All right, thank you. I'd like to distribute copies of the report here.
Thank you.
Bill? Thank you. Will?
Okay. Yep.
Gail? And Don, would you like a copy of this? All right, gentlemen, good evening. I hope you're all well since our last meeting.
Thank you.
First off, I would like to thank you again for the opportunity to work in our serene and very beautiful conservation areas. I really enjoy being out there. This year, tasks were essentially the same as in the past with some changes. I was most impressed by the placement of a trash barrel at the entrance to Hewitt's Pond area because the amount of trash is reduced by about 60% to two-thirds this past summer. So it's being used and it's keeping the area looking nice in between my visits. Also, the town did a great job in revitalizing the Forge River area. The picnic table and the benches are a nice touch, and it makes it a really nice area to have a picnic or just to rest and enjoy the birds and wildlife for a while. Although there wasn't as much need for trash pickup, we had a great many storms, especially towards the end of the summer, into earlier last spring. So there was a lot of debris, branches and fallen trees, etc., that had to be cleaned off of the trails. And the small branches were piled up for animal habitats, and most of the trees were pulled off the trail. But as one recommendation, I think the DPW ought to go in and remove a tree that was just too heavy to lift from the Forge River about halfway down the trail. I began photographing and documenting some aspects, especially of the Hewitt's Pond area. And I haven't submitted pictures yet this year because it's kind of an ongoing project. This year I focused on the many types of fungi that grow, especially at Hewitt's Pond, but in both areas there's some really beautiful mushroom type things in different locales there, and I want to identify those and provide them if you choose to have me work again next year, which I'd like to do, and submit a report on the fungi and possibly other plant and animal species that I'm able to. I contacted the assistant provost at Bridgewater State University, Jenny Shanahan, about having students come into the Hewitt's Pond area and document the animal the wildlife and all types of animals, vertebrates and invertebrates, even insects, to see if they can inventory or at least survey some of the rare or endangered species that exist in that area, according to state documents. And she was very enthusiastic and believes that students from an ecology or possibly one of the biology classes would enjoy doing this and would like to do it as a semester project. So I'm expecting to hear back from her again. You can see her initial response in my report, and I will be in touch with you through Gail as soon as I hear from her. And they should connect directly with you and listen to your recommendations as to how they might proceed on that project. And I don't have a lot more to say. I'd be glad to answer any questions, if you have any.
Before I ask the commissioners if they have any questions, I just wanted to continue to commend you on the amount of work you've done over the years in our conservation areas in town. You know, from where we started a couple years ago to where we are now, it's greatly appreciated. Just the small things you've done over the years, as you can tell, have had a great impact on our community, to the point that there used to be a lot of trash everywhere, and now we have trash barrels, and trash is getting into the trash barrels, so people can enjoy those walking trails a lot more now. So thank you very much for all the work you've been doing, and I look forward to your continued work with the commission, as long as you're willing to do it.
I intend to submit a proposal after the first of the year to do some work next summer then. And thank you very much for the compliment.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions, Mr. Romero?
No, I'd just like to echo your thoughts and the great work you've done in the past year and beyond. It's been a couple of years since we've worked together on some of these areas, and there has been a vast improvement. Even though they destroyed one of the bridges there at Hewitt Pond, and a neighborhood organization went out and repaired it, which was really nice. And I don't think they would have done that had not the area been cleaned up and presented well to the community prior to that action. So that's good news, and I, again, commend you for your efforts.
Thank you, Bill.
And I'm sure as long as you volunteer to do this and enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to get any arguments from us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. Thank you.
I'll give this to the senior assessors. The assessors?
Yes.
Okay, give it to the assessors. Okay, very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll make sure Liz Moore gets a copy.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
because I know I gave her one last year. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll send it, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're going to come back to informal at the end. We're going to circle back around, but we're going to jump into the formal right now. So Julie, can you read us into formal, please?
All public hearings and meetings heard by the Raynham Conservation Commission on Wednesday, November 15th, 2017, at 5:30 p.m. in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, Donald McKinnon Meeting Room, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass., are relative to filings in joint hearings and/or meetings under Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended in the Town of Raynham Wetland Protection Bylaw.
Thank you. We did have a continued NOI for Commerce Way, map 15, parcel 176-2H, Ankler Patel. That has been requested for continuance to 12/6, December 6th. Have they submitted the proper paperwork?
I did notify them that they have to, there is a fee for canceling so late, and I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Okay.
Okay, so I think they're waiting for planning tomorrow night again.
Okay. We're going to head down to continued notice of resource area delineation, New State Highway, map 16, parcel 55, Daniel Andrade River, Raynham River Walk LLC.
Good evening. For the record, Steve Giosa with SciTech Engineering. As the commission recalls, at the last meeting, we had an initial presentation on this delineation off of Route 44 and Church Street. The agent had made an initial walkthrough of some of the wetlands. It's obviously a very extensive wetland system, so in order to have additional time to allow that further review, we requested a continuance to the last hearing, so we're here tonight to receive any input that we can get from the agent and the commission, and hopefully finalize the delineation for the site.
That's for you. That's for Bill. That's for Will. Those are Oz's notes.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, as you may recall, at the last meeting, I had suggested that we continue the hearing so that, because it was such an extensive delineation, that we may finish the review. Last time, made a note regarding flags, C-44 through C-45. That is a flag BVW, but at the time when they go to propose a project, you can look at it as a finger-like projection, because it is primarily fed by a street drain, road drain from New State Highway. But we'll leave it as a resource. And then the last time, the flag from A27 should be connected directly to B39, eliminate, in our view, eliminate B40, and then connect A30 directly to B42, eliminating A29, A28, and B41. And then you go to the southwest, I guess, end of the project. The area, I don't see how that is functioning as outlined. The area between A128 through A136 and then 136A through 136C. So we're saying eliminate that delineation and connect A128 directly to A136. And then A136D should connect directly to 136F, eliminating 136E, and then connect 136F directly to A138, eliminating A137 and A136G. Other than that, I think they did a fairly decent job. The riverfront is well defined, so the high water line, it's fine. So what I've done, as we said last meeting, is prepare a modification attachment. Now, if they don't agree with that, then we can meet with the wetlands biologist on site and then review those areas. But if they don't have any problem with it, then I will suggest that you can approve the delineation with this modification. And also make a note that the commission is not approving or establishing any other resources that it has. So your finding will be as to what is reviewed.
Have you had a chance to review this information?
Yes, based on the information presented this evening by Azu, we have no objections to those modifications, and would not challenge that determination. We agree with the delineation he has recommended in this case.
Do any of the commissioners have any further questions?
I don't, do you?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
We had our questions last time, so I'm all set now.
We got answered.
And you're comfortable with all your recommendations and any further concerns?
I'm good.
Okay. Good. Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions, comments, concerns regarding this project before we close the hearing? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close this hearing.
Motion to close the continued notice of resource delineation, New State Highway Map 16, Parcel 55, Daniel Landry, Raynham River Walk.
Is there a second?
Second?
And before we do an all in favor, I forgot to ask the applicant, are you wishing to close the hearing?
Yes, we're agreeing to close the hearing.
I was assuming you were, since you weren't objecting to any houses, but I have to officially ask. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Do you want to issue with House's amendments?
Yeah, we have drafted an order of resource area delineation checking the box that says as modified.
So it's all set to issue.
Okay. You have it all ready to go, too? Okay. With the... Perfect.
When I'll finish up the paperwork tomorrow and putting the rest of the numbers and everything on it that I also didn't have, the DEP file numbers and
Right.
everything. If you can sign it tonight, and I'll finish the work. And we'll
Perfect.
set tomorrow. Well,
Sounds
we'll
good.
set Friday morning.
Okay. So
There is a DEP file number?
Yes, it has been issued.
So I'll entertain a motion to issue with Azu's information attached.
Motion to issue notice of
Order.
resource area delineation to New State Highway Map 16, Parcel 55, Daniel Andre, Raynham River Walk LLC.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next we have a continued notice of intent, Lot 2, Hill Street, map 15, parcel 110, Louis Pacheco. And that's just the issuance scale?
It's still open, so first we get it.
So, good, there we go.
Evening.
Hi, Frank.
I'm Frank Gallagher, Gallagher Engineering in Foxborough. The applicant's not here tonight, and I just have been in the field all day, and I don't have anything with me, but we just will continue just because we were waiting on the DEP file number, which we did get.
Yes.
So, we're good?
We're good.
You have it? All right, so,
So we can issue.
Mr. Gallagher, you're asking to close the hearing?
Yes.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing, continued notice of intent, Lot 2, Hill Street, map 15, partial 110, Louis Pacheco.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Just a formality.
For your, is there anybody in the audience regarding this parcel? Wasn't anyone here last week, so, but you're right, formality. All right, we have a motion and a second. No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And I'll entertain a second motion to issue.
Motion to issue an order of conditions, Lot 2, Hill Street, map 15, partial 110, Louis Pacheco.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Right, that's the all set Friday morning.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to mail it out? I usually do certified mail.
I'm thinking I'll probably just have the applicant come by.
Okay.
And he can pick it up from you in the office.
Probably Friday morning. Have him give the office a call first. All right?
All right.
Thank
you.
Okay, next we have a notice of intent, 1555 New State Highway, map 16, parcel 61B, 61C, and 61-1, Next Gen Realty LLC.
Good evening. Green cards and tear sheets.
No.
I see.
Did not hear me. Bring copies.
In accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Raynham Local Bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, November 15, 2017, at 5:30 p.m. in the Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room in Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass. On a notice of intent filed by Next Gen Realty LLC, 1525 New State Highway, Raynham, Mass. 02767. The applicant proposes to construct a parking lot, drainage, utilities, and grading within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland to support commercial development. The applicant also requires review and approval of a delineated vegetated wetland line and associated resource areas. The property is owned by Next Gen Realty LLC and is located at 1555 New State Highway, map 16, parcel 61B and 61C. A portion of 81 Brookside Drive, map 16, lot 61-1 will also be involved.
If you could state your name, firm for the record, and then give us a quick little overview.
Sure will. My name's Larry Silva from Silva Engineering Associates, offices at 1615 Bedford Street, Bridgewater. With me this evening, I do have representatives from Mastria. I ask that they just introduce themselves for the record.
If they could just please come up to the mic.
Ed Ferrera from Mastria Automotive Group.
Don't be shy, come on up. The mic doesn't bite. Richie Mastria Auto Group.
And I'm Rob Mastria from Mastria as well.
Okay. The aerial overlay that I have here is just to get you acclimated as far as where we're talking. Okay, this was the Meineke dealership, the Meineke dealer that was here in the building here, and temporarily Kia has been operating there until such time as we got to the point of presenting a full plan to both here and to the planning board. The planning board's tomorrow night. The construction of the Kia dealership is pretty much in keeping with what was there before as far as the Meineke, except what was happening before was that was all sheet flow heading down. There was no stormwater controls as far as what existing conditions were at that time. What we're proposing here is obviously bringing it into compliance with stormwater regulations. We're controlling the runoff through deep sunk catch basins, through a grit separator and so forth, and then we're bringing it into a chamber infiltration system, drainage basin, and another basin in the back tied to it, in which we then outfall to this wetland area. The wetlands are delineated by Brook Monroe from Pine Brook, and so the property line is right in here, and then there's an easement on the adjoining property, and so that's why we identify both properties as far as the filing, okay? And so, basically, we're gonna be controlling everything. The property itself is being served by municipal and sewer. Okay, so originally, that used to be on a septic system, the old Meineke site, and then now we'll have sewer, and we also are bringing through the property to serve the building. We're bringing water and sewer down to the Total Care building, which is on Brookside. The design, so I'll come back around the other side. So as I indicated, the project is a renovation of the existing building. The proposed development includes a 1,065 square foot addition to the existing 12,290 square foot building. Driveway, paved and gravel parking lot. The entire lot is not all paved. There's a section in which it, behind the building, in which it goes to a gravel area. The building contains eight automotive repair bays, showroom, sales floor, and office. The office consists of 20, it's not as much for you guys, but 2270 square feet, service bays of 43. The lot coverage for here is actually 9% is building, 63% is pavement. Then there's 28% open space in the form of lawn areas and to the rear of the site. In that pavement was also including that area that's really the dense grade gravel. So there's, as I said, that we analyze things for studying 210 and 100-year storm events. Calculations were done for pre and post development. The pre-development was the assumption of what it was when it was the Meineke, not the interim status as the Kia. So the base conditions were the base conditions that were prior to that interim work that was done there. Pretty much everything has been done so that we have BMPs with, like I say, the deep sump, the catch basins, the hooded proprietary separator, oil grit separator, and then, like I say, infiltration chambers, and then the mitigation we've employed is also 80% TSS removal. We also took into account the Raynham requirements from the planning board, which requires 150% of the required storage for infiltration. So we met the local requirements, and pretty much we reduced down peak rates from the pre-development of, like for just a 2-year storm was a 7.2 CFS, it goes down to a 0.7. 10-year goes from, for the 2-year storm, the pre-development was a 7.2, we're going down to a 2. The 10-year goes from 11.1 down to 3.4, and for the 100-year, 7.8 goes down to 6.2. So we're really controlling the runoff, rate of runoff and so forth into the basin and ultimately into the wetlands. Pretty much that's an overview of what we're proposing here, and it's obviously in keeping with what is on adjoining properties.
This side. Right.
And I can answer whatever questions that you might have.
So it's heading east.
Is the parcel in the back that goes up to Brook Drive, is that owned by the same property owner, or is that a different property owner?
It's a, I'm not sure, it's the same people, but I'm not sure if it's in a different ownership.
Name, but it's the same.
But okay, same ownership.
Right, just want to
Same
know.
ownership, yeah.
Azu, have you had a chance to review?
Yeah, most of what they do, actually, this, as far as the Wetlands Protection Act is concerned and our local, and the town's bylaw for conservation purposes, this can actually qualify for, as a redevelopment, because there's an existing use, granted part of it is gravel, part of it is paved, so they can take credit for a lot of that. And what I think what they're doing is a better use and layout of the project. So, but we don't have a file number yet from DEP, and we probably want to defer to the planning board because they have all issues relating to the layout requirements, which are not really necessarily the purview of this board. But you would want to leave it open just in case they have any changes, so you can marry the plans together. But as far as conservation is concerned, I don't have any issues, and the wetlands is fairly well properly defined. And again, for conservation purposes, they meet our requirements and I exceed them, so I have no issues.
The gravel in the rear, on the plan, is that to be for remain gravel to stage cars on, stage vehicles on, or?
Yeah, for basically for either inventory in the back, someplace that there is just to kind of bring down the amount of paving that is necessary there. It's the dense grade gravel, you know, and I think Azu might attest to this, is that, you know, even our discussions with DEP is that they don't really make a distinction between the two. They say that dense grade gravel basically behaves like an impervious surface. It's not like you get infiltration into it, you basically still run off.
This used to be.
So the controls are there to be able to still handle all of that.
Yeah.
And they moved down.
Locust would be up here. Okay.
Right here.
Do commissioners have any questions?
So you're removing all the existing buildings there?
No,
And
No.
you're not?
No.
Okay.
we're trying to work with as much as what is there, and just put a small addition on the ones that are there, that are actually being
Repurposed?
repurposed, yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna look a couple more nicer, but it's, we're working within the same footprint, more or less.
I have a lot of questions since it's an existing facility.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Been kind of a busy little place now because of the Meineke guy's been still trying to work there while his place is getting finished across on the other side of Route 44. But he's pretty close to getting to an occupancy for that, so he'll be on his merry way.
Azu, a question for you, as a redevelopment, do we need to put anything at the 25-foot no touch?
Oh, you can, where they can meet that requirement, and I think they've shown that anyway.
They do.
Yeah. So,
Today I was trying to find it, I didn't see it, if only the commissioners found it.
Yeah, we did. It's there. Trust me.
Any commissioners have any other questions before I turn it over to the audience? Anybody in the audience have any questions, comments? Sir, if you could just come up and state the record.
My name is Jim Coletti. I own Coletti Realty Limited Partnership. I'm a butter to the property, Rick Mastria's property. I only have one question, and that is that there is a little body of water behind my building, and I'm just curious to know if you've done a study to know what sort of an impact the runoff from the work that you've done will have on that body of water. Is it going to increase? Obviously, I don't think it will decrease, but as long as it, has that been considered?
Which parcel are you at?
I'm at 1585, right to the left of Salvation Army building.
Okay.
To answer that question, as you can see in here, we have basically small wall on that side there in order to make sure that we keep the water on our side. So basically, there's a true separation between what's happening runoff on his side and the runoff on ours. Nothing from our side will be going on to his. So the answer is, if anything, it'll either be the same or better than what it currently is, depending if there was some flow that was coming from our site to his site, which it looked more like maybe some of his may have been getting in down near the wetland side, but it's not going to inhibit anything on his side from still finding its way to the wetlands.
Okay. I think the question might be, sir, please correct me if I'm wrong, you're talking about the wetland area you have right in the back of your property, correct?
Yes.
So are you asking if that volume is going to increase?
Let's see, this is New State Highway.
Yeah.
Right,
This is the
yeah,
building.
right back there.
There's some here.
It's the back of his.
Isn't that right?
There's wetlands there, yes.
Wetlands in here.
It's a continuation of this line that goes around that way.
Okay. Isn't this going like downhill a little bit here?
And we're taking it and bringing it back this way,
And
and
this is
detaining it and then bringing it back in here.
This is a wall?
Yes, it
That's
is.
where the fence is then?
That's going to be a wall to take care of the elevation change, so that we actually collect along that side. We have some catch basins over on that side. We're going to collect the water and bring it in through our drainage system to take it away from your area, actually.
Okay. All right.
Was that your
Okay.
question, sir?
Fine.
All right.
Sounds like you're gonna make out.
All right, are there any other questions from the audience? All right. Since we do not have a DEP file number,
We need to
we
continue.
need to continue.
Yeah.
September 6th.
Why are they so slow to do that, huh?
Half the time I don't even get notified anymore. I used to get notified on every
Yeah,
single
huh?
one of them. Now I have to start looking them up just to see if there's been another issue.
Well, it'd be continued anyway, because the
Yeah.
planning board hasn't.
Well, yeah, because, if anything does, as Azu has said, we go to planning board tomorrow night, if there's something that they adjust or something or other, they want to adjust it, I'd rather be able to come back here with a slightly amended plan to address their issues, so that when you act on it, we're acting on the same plan.
Absolutely.
Yes, good idea, yeah.
That's always
Yeah.
that's always been the way that I like to work.
Yeah.
You never know, there could be
You
a
don't wanna have two
final,
plans out there.
hiccup in the plan, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, because if we close it and then there's something else, and then we have to reopen
You
it.
have to do it all over again.
To do it, it's
Pain in the neck.
never easy that way.
Right, right.
So I will,
Yeah. He has to request.
well, he definitely doesn't request, he doesn't have a DEP file number. So, you are requesting to continue till
Yes.
next hearing, so December 6th.
December 6th.
I'll entertain a motion to continue to December 6th.
Motion to continue, notice of intent, 1555, New State Highway, map 16, parcel 61B, 61C, and 61-1. Nexton Realty LLC, continued to 12/6.
Is there a second?
Second,
Any further discussion? Sir, so it is being continued to December 6th, and if you'd like to come, same time, you're more than welcome to come. If you have any other questions that could pop up.
And the planning board meeting is tomorrow night.
I met Azu a few months ago. I wanted to do a little cleanup in behind my building, because the plowing and what have you that's been done over the last 5 to 10 years, as they go around the building, they plow, they pushed it aside and built it up a little bit, and now we're getting some puddling in there, and it needs to kind of be re-excavated to correct that problem so it doesn't hold water. And I obviously wouldn't do anything without permission, so I'm in the process of filing for a request for determination.
Okay.
All right. Good. You, all right. So all in favor of continuing to December 6th?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, December 6th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we are going to revert back to informal, since there's nothing left on the formal side of the agenda. Certificate of compliance, 57 South Street East, map 17, parcel 147, Glen Thompson. Did we get a chance to review that certificate of compliance?
Yes, sir. Yeah, if you remember last meeting, I updated the commission on the extent of the work that they did. They actually didn't build as much as they had proposed, and they're copacetic.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Any commissioners have any final questions?
No.
I'll entertain a motion to.
Make a motion to issue certificate of compliance 57 South Main Street, South Street East, map 17, parcel 147, Glenn Thompson.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I have that here.
And that'll be ready Friday morning. Okay. I've got it. I've got a lot, I know, I've got a lot of copying and getting everything ready for all the other,
Are there any decisions that you heard them vote on?
so I might, it is Friday morning. Because I also have, I think, a department head meeting in the morning and I have to go, so.
I'll be there breaking. Thank you.
All right.
Do we have any other informal? Good.
Are we doing anything with the calendar, or is that just for us at this
Just for
point?
you to review. I put it down there as discussion, but just, review it,
Okay.
see what you think, and go from there.
All right, seeing no other informal, we're going to revert to general business since we've cleared the room. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of October 18th and November? We'll do them individually. October 18th, 2017?
Motion to accept?
Second.
We have a motion to accept the minutes of October 18th, 2017, and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of November 1st, 2017?
Yes.
Motion to accept.
We have a motion and a second to accept November 1st, 2017. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Bills? All right, no correspondence either. As we've already touched upon, we have the proposed calendar for our meetings for first half of 2018. Please take that home, review any dates that we may have any conflicts where two or more commissioners may not be here. We may have to adjust if that becomes a determining factor. But we will vote on these at the next meeting on December 6th, so we can get those posted and published.
With the time corrected for the 17th?
Yes, with the time corrected for January 17th at 5:30.
The only one I have an issue with is March 7th. I won't be around.
Okay. All right. Site visits, we have anything?
Well, the visit for Andred,
Yeah.
the ANRAD. I'm gonna withhold a comment on it here, but it's did the site visits.
Okay.
Okay, and then today I met with Frank Gallagher at Pine Street, that Maurice meets property that you guys already approved. So they hired a contractor who's gonna be starting work, and I met with them there and then told them, you need to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, before you can get started. And I asked him the contractor, if he had the order of conditions. He says, oh no, can I get a copy? You know? So I'm like, so Frank basically walked him through the process, and they want to build a project in phases. They really don't have an actual phase outline, but what they want to do is build the upper end, all the roadway section that's outside the jurisdiction. Okay, but then they're gonna rough in the drainage basin in order to do the, have a place for the runoff to collect and settle. So they need to put erosion control barriers. He wanted to ask for a different one. I says, well, that would be a modification. So Frank says, no, stick with the double stick here with silt fence that's shown on the plan, so you can go forward. He asked the question if he can stump the trees in order to put the erosion control barrier. I said, no, you can cut trees that are in the way, but when you start stumping, that creates erosion, because now you're exposing soils. I said, no, you can do this, you can do your erosion control without doing any stumping. I said, this is not the first project that we have approved. I said, we got a ton of them, and none of them stumped before they put erosion control. So.
Okay.
That'll be it.
All right.
Any other issues with 826 and 840 Broadway, Casimir?
I haven't heard anything.
Well, it hasn't been 30 days yet.
Right.
So we should be
We
hearing
give them
something
30
on the receipt of the letter.
There was, yeah, but there was some other work that they were doing out there that we had to check on, you and I.
Yeah.
And
I
that
haven't
they're
heard
done with
anything
that.
from anybody yet,
No,
so.
they haven't done any more for that.
They had paved
They had
over
paved.
the existing area.
Right, yeah, so I did go through there, and they had resurfaced the existing parking lot area. But it appears that that's the extent of the work that's been done. It does appear that they did put up a silt fence. Whether it's in the right location, I don't know. I don't know if that,
Do that without,
I guess you could put up a silt fence anywhere you want.
No, because if you remember in the letter, we told them to cease and desist and to stabilize the area, so they need to put it, yeah, if you're telling them you need to stabilize the area before you do any more work until we approve something, that's part of that.
So-
it's the 30
they were,
days for them.
so they were being responsive in that regard.
So 30 days would have been upon receipt of our letter.
No, it's not 30 days
It's
yet.
closer to the end of the month, I think.
So,
Yeah.
so by December 6th meeting,
We should have.
they should be on the
something.
agenda, they should be on the agenda for December 6th meeting.
Unless they send us a letter requesting.
All right, and I think the December 6th meeting, we should also have the property next door also, it was probably on that agenda as well.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them,
Both
yes.
of them, so.
Yeah, 'cause
They
I
were
think the
both-
same
they were
person
both-
was gonna do the work anyway.
And they were both notified, and they both
No, I'm
got
talking about
sent-
the other property.
Right, but he was also sent all the information for the request for determination. Everything was sent to him also.
Because they originally had requested an extension, because their property owner and the engineer hooked up late in the game.
No, that's the other one. That's the one for Don, the one that Don is doing.
That's the other one where the current factory outlet
Yeah,
parking lot.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yes.
right.
They're all in the same
Okay,
vicinity.
exactly.
Right.
So that one I think
We
we
sent them the letter as well. We did
Right.
send them a
Yeah.
letter because the commission voted to give them that 30-day extension that they asked
Right,
for.
and I think that 30-day extension will probably come to this
Come
next
close
meeting,
to it,
December
yeah.
6th
That's
also.
about the same time, because you
So-
voted on that the same day.
So they may be on the agenda
Yeah,
at the same
so,
time.
just remind me.
Yep, no problem. So-
Okay.
Okay, anything further? I guess I'll entertain Mr. Dooley's final motion that he likes to make.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn, is there a second?
No.
Somebody will second that.
I will.
Second,
So we have a second. Seeing that there's never any discussion on adjourning, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. We are.